Imagine a world where a tank of gas costs $150. Your lunch at McDonald's costs $35. A world where everything costs 400% more. But you're still earning what you earn today. Would you be able to cover a $12,000 bill for an emergency furnace repair? A $2,000 flight to Boston to attend your brother's funeral? 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And a third of us don't even have $1 in savings. Maybe this is you. Maybe you remember a time when it was you or a family member. Now, imagine you have nothing to sell, nor do you have a friend or family member to borrow from. What do you do? What do you do if your answer depended on feeding your children this week or repairing the car that takes you to the job that you so desperately need to hold it all together? 12 million Americans a year don't have to imagine these scenarios. For them, they're not hypothetical. It is real life. Often a small emergency, one that costs a few $100s, opens the only door that seems to swing so freely for them: predatory lending. Payday loans, it sounds nice, a small loan that gets you to your next paycheck, but it is not a loan. It's a cycle. And once you're in, it's nearly impossible to get out. It's a web of interest rates in the hundreds and hidden fees that resemble legal robbery. Not a loan. And it's all too convenient to sign up. You stand in line. You provide your basics: photo ID, 2 paycheck stubs, proof of bank account, and a voided check. The clerk then passes you 8 documents of legal pages saying sign here, here, and here, with no explanation, but you do. Then the clerk passes you cash up to 80% of your paycheck, and you're on your way. But this is just the beginning, because you better be ready to give up your next paycheck. You pay back the 80% with interest and fees with the 20% that you have left over. For the 78% of us living paycheck to paycheck, this is just the beginning of the crushing cycle of debt that predatory lending creates. And who borrowers are might surprise you. 72% of borrowers make $40,000 a year. That's your kids' teachers, members of armed services, parents and single parents with multiple jobs, even promising young professionals with stable jobs but high debt from financial aid. There are laborers who built our homes, our cities, our businesses, but they have to deal with seasonal volatility. So, to the single moms, the teachers, the seasonal tradesmen, the banked, the underbanked, my question is, how do you make a small dollar loan a stepping stone and not a stumbling block? Traditional banks aren't the answer. Small loans pale in comparison to the large sums it takes to make low interest rates work. Plus, they rely on credit scores to take out a loan, something that most making under $40,000 simply do not have. The answer is not in institutions. The answer is us. It's you. It's me. It's those in need. It's all of us in the community. The answer is financial collaboration. People working directly with one another. No crushing fees, no hidden cycles, just fair, straightforward, short-term loans. We started experimenting with an idea of an exchange for loans under $1,000, a place where money was more a peer-to-peer relationship rather than a financial transaction. A place where you can go fund an emergency home repair, you can get caught up on your own bills, or you can make that co-payment. But what does a marketplace look like of that sort of thing? How do we connect lenders and borrowers for a meaningful community? How do we make it transparent and simple? Well, we call it social loans, or SOLO for short. Over the past year, SOLO has grown from an idea to an app, from a cause to a community, and most importantly, from a theory to reality. It's simple. For lenders, you can lend on your own terms. You can choose how much you want to lend, the frequency you want to lend, and even who you lend to. As a borrower, you can get a small loan on your own terms without the cycle of debt afterwards. You select the amount that you need. You share a short description of why you need it. You even can select a date that is favorable for you to pay back your loan. You also have the option to give the lender a tip as an appreciation or even give Solo a donation. You accept your terms that you've created, where a digital promissory note is created, and your loan is posted to the marketplace. As a lender, you can log in and you can fund a loan based on your social needs or the Solo score. You accept the terms of the loan and funds are transferred. It's that simple. To date, Solo has 50,000 users. We funded $1 million in loans, which has supported 3,500 users get caught up on their electricity bill alone. But this work is just the beginning. We're just getting started. The more lenders and borrowers use it, the more we learn. The more we learn, the more our imaginations grow. And we can create more than just loans. We can create trust. In the banking world, trust is spelled F-I-C-O, FICO. One of the hidden injustices of the banking system is that you have to have assets, usually a lot of them to establish trust, or as they call it, credit. The more assets you have, the more banks trust you to pay back what you owe. But those making under $40,000 simply have less money, fewer possessions, and therefore little trust. But our work, we're set to change that. Through our work, we can create trust indicators that are credible regardless of how much collateral you have. Simply by borrowing and paying back your loans, you can develop a score on our platform. Do you pay back your loans on time? Your score goes up. Can you pay back your loan a few days earlier? Bonus points. Do you show appreciation to your lender? Add it to your score. And over time, with more and more transactions, we can create a track record for small loans that is equivalent to a track record of larger loans and lines of credit. Banking is built on numbers, but our score is a powerful number. It'll be able to help borrowers get larger loans and better lines of interest. It'll build trust. It'll create creditworthiness for those who've never had the chance before. It'll help break the cycle that has historically kept someone in perpetual debt. Maybe I'm not being blunt enough about this, but perpetual debt is not just pernicious, it's heartbreaking. Earlier this year, a friend of mine was standing in line at her bank behind an older woman, a grandmother who was asking the teller to take out $50 from her account to pay back a payday loan. She explained through tears, "My grandson took out a loan just to buy books for school. At 18, he did not realize that $100 could turn into $500 of debt." She asked for advice. Is there anything I can do? Anything just to stop the increasing interest? The bank teller's answer was a flat out no. There's nothing that she can do but to go back and pay off the payday loan in order for it to stop the spiraling fees and interest. This story and millions others like it is the reason why we are creating a meaningful community of compassionate lending. Lending that is placed back into the hands of the community. Lending that is not a cycle, but a stepping stone from a stumbling block. Our goal is to teach what hasn't been taught, It's to build money confidence. It's to remove the negative connotation of asking for money and placing the emphasis on support. Support that will help the third of us either start or even have an emergency cash fund. Let's form trust. Let's crush this thing. Why don't you join us? Thank you.